The oil leak or oil consumption problems are quite common for the second generation of the Chevy Equinox with the 2.4-liter engine, and there are two main reasons for oil leaks: piston rings and the PCV system, which stands for positive crankcase ventilation. In model year 2014, Chevy introduced an updated 2.4-liter engine and that more or less solved the problem with the piston rings, but the PCV issues were there up until the last year of this engine. Unfortunately, there was no recall or even warranty extension. I know about one class action lawsuit proposed in 2023, but it was extremely weak since lawyers wanted to sue Chevrolet for bad piston rings and claimed this as a defective engine case, which is too weak for the court to order recalls. Piston rings tend to wear down in all engines, so even if this lawsuit were taken eventually to court, Chevy wouldn't suffer much defending its money. What I want to tell you about is the PCV problem that is monstrously underestimated by mechanics. All 2.4-liter engines in the second generation of the Equinox are prone to very bad oil leaks through the rear main seal. This leak happens when the crankcase ventilation system gets clogged, which often happens in winter in areas with quite low temperatures, and the pressure in the engine block goes too high. The weakest point in this case is the rear main seal, which is located just behind the transmission. This seal is just blown and the oil starts pouring out of the engine like crazy. If you manage to drive with extremely low oil levels, chances are your engine is dead and requires replacement. If you're lucky and the engine didn't work much with low oil pressure, you may potentially pay $2,000 or $3,000 for repairs and be good to go. The repair is complicated. First, you need to have the PCV system cleaned, which requires intake manifold removal, but the worst thing is that to replace the blown rear main seal, you will need to take off the transmission, so the labor costs go up to $1,500, $2,000 and higher depending on the chosen repair shop. Also, after the repair, it's a very good idea to install the ventilated oil cap, which I strongly recommend to any owner of the Equinox with the 2.4-liter engine. The parts, by the way, are cheap as dirt, but a good mechanic will require at least 10 hours to do the job. For a better understanding of the issue, you may read the TSB number PIP5093B issued in 2016. Just imagine, Chevy already knew in 2016 that these engines had a fatal issue with the PCV system failing in cold weather. So the big question is whether you have been driving the car with low oil pressure, because in these engines the oil light will come on when the pressure is extremely low and the engine may already be affected. If you are driving in cold temperatures and suddenly hear a loud pop under the hood, stop driving immediately and check if the oil is pouring out of the engine. If it does, call a tow truck and have the engine repaired. Unfortunately, due to quite unprofessional lawsuit attempt, General Motors will not pay anything for this repair, and there are no recalls or warranty extensions.